Hello and welcome, I'm your Code Monkey, and earlier this week I made a video doing a quick recap on the Unity GDC roadmap talk, which covered what is coming with the engine in the near future. However, one very important thing that was mysteriously absent from the roadmap but was announced on that very same night was Unity AI. It was somewhat quietly announced just on Twitter. The YouTube video is still unlisted, which means it's not public. Now, I say announcement, but it really is just a teaser, really nothing in terms of concrete details, and because of that, the response was pretty negative. A handful of people are excited, most are skeptical, or really just very negative. And that's not really without reason. AI is a very sensitive topic that can be done either in a positive or negative way, and in this case, with just how limited this teaser is, and how it doesn't really have any details on anything, I don't blame people for having a negative reaction. However, like I mentioned in the GDC video, Unity invited me over there and I attended a private talk where I got the chance to take a look at behind the scenes, and I saw the current state of a bunch of AI tools they are working on. That talk was very much behind an NDA, so I'm not allowed to talk about specifics, but still I can talk about some things. You can also sign up to their AI beta if you want to learn more. I've signed up myself. So here I'm going to cover 3 common questions that I saw as a response to the announcement and just AI in general. So first, is Unity announcing something quickly just to please investors which will then be dropped? Secondly, are they doing AI ethically or carelessly? And thirdly, is Unity considering consent and legal issues in the datasets they are using? Those are very important questions, and the Unity team had answers to all of them. But before those, I actually had a question of my own. I asked them why announce this quietly overnight instead of during the roadmap talk. It seems like this should really be present on the roadmap, and the answer that I got has to do with how they are researching tons of things, and they already have quite a lot working, but there's a huge difference between making a quick working prototype and building a proper production-ready tool. So they have essentially learned the lesson from Dots, where they showcased it right away in the very early stages, and then a bunch of people were rightly upset when many years came and went, and Dots was constantly stuck in development. So they learned from that, and now they want to make sure they only show something concrete when they are very confident they have an actual usable product and not really just a proof of concept. That is why they did not make a big splash in the roadmap, and also why the teaser announcement is extremely vague without any clear details. They don't want to overpromise until they know for certain exactly what they can deliver. Although actually, they have already shown one AI tool in the last Unite. They showed a tool that uses AI and machine learning to easily position and animate some characters. As you move a hand, the tool uses AI to figure out where the rest of the body should be. This really speeds up the posing process so you don't have to move each bone individually. Then that same tool can be used for animations, so as you add some keyframes, it uses AI to figure out the position of every limb at every frame in a natural way. And it can also do some pose matching, where you give it a picture and then it positions the character in that exact same pose. This is one of the several demos that we saw in that private talk. With this, you can also see how they are researching tons of areas, so they're not just making a quick ChatGPT clone or a clone of Stable Diffusion. And it's actually kind of funny to see the difference in the reactions. That talk, which showcased an actual tool in action, is full of very positive comments, whereas the general AI announcement that has no details, that one is almost entirely negative. Honestly, I see this as a positive because it tells you that people are upset when there are no details, but become much more positive when they actually see how AI might help them. For me, as someone with no animation skills, I can definitely see this tool being very useful. Also, lots of people were either very excited or very angry when Keijiro posted about his AI command tool. This actually demonstrates the exact same thing that the AI team was talking about. Like Keijiro himself mentioned in the FAQ, this is just a proof of concept, this is not practical. There is a huge difference between a research proof of concept and a proper, usable, production-ready tool. So those are the reasons why they quietly made this announcement instead of making a big splash in the official roadmap. Okay, so now let's see those 3 common questions that I saw. For example, the first question, several people posted a comment saying something like, oh, they're just announcing this because AI is the big hype right now, so they're announcing it just for the investors and they're going to drop it soon. That is a very valid concern, and it's actually the very first thing that I asked the AI team. The answer is no, this is not a knee-jerk reaction to ChatGPT or Midjourney or anything like that. They pointed out how Unity has been working with AI for many years now. Their ML Agents package has been around for several years, and I've even used it myself to build some interesting things. Alongside the ML Agents package is Project Barracuda. This is their lightweight cross-platform inference engine, which is what actually runs in neural networks. This is extremely important to make sure you can run machine learning on all of the platforms that Unity supports. Again, this package has been in constant development since 2018. And beyond that, they made a blog post in 2018 covering their guiding principles, which I'm going to cover in a bit. So with regards to this question, is this just the next shiny thing that Unity is chasing, just to jump on the AI hype bandwagon in order to please investors? The answer to that is no. Clearly, this area of AI and machine learning, this is something they have been researching for a long time, which showcases just how serious they are about it. Another question and the issue people have with AI is with regards to ethics. And again, for this, they already publicly posted their guiding principles all the way back in 2018. Their guiding principles are be unbiased, be accountable, be fair, be responsible, be honest, and be trustworthy. These are their guiding principles as established back in 2018. In that private talk, the team told me their principles nowadays are still the same as they were before, meaning they're focused on making AI the right way. They're not trying to eliminate developers or jobs, they're not trying to screw anyone by scraping their data without consent. Instead, they're trying to do it the right way by giving you tools to help you make your games better and faster. Since AI is moving really quickly, they're also paying close attention to the rules and regulations as this space changes. Another extremely important question is with regards to datasets. Plenty of people don't like how all of these AI tools just scrape the entire internet without consent. Chances are, if you've ever drawn an image and published it on the internet, that it was used to train Stable Diffusion. Or perhaps if you've ever posted something on Stack Overflow, chances are ChatGPT read about it and learned from it. This is a very tricky subject. Should the AI tools be allowed to learn from any public source, or should they require consent first? That's not just a moral issue, but a legal one as well. Is it legal to train a model on copyrighted materials? There are already several lawsuits currently ongoing, and right now, no one knows which way the courts will decide. Right now, it's still a complete unknown. And if game development is your job, you definitely don't want to be dependent on that unknown and potentially become exposed to legal problems in the future. There are already some reports that various studios have forbidden the use of AI tools simply because it is not clear how it works legally. Those studios absolutely do want to use AI to improve their productivity, but not at the cost of exposing them to legal action. The Unity team said that this is something they take very seriously. Unity does not want people that use the engine to be exposed to any kind of legal liability because of copyright questions related to the original dataset, so that means in order to do it right, they need to gather the datasets properly and with consent. This is another part of the reason why they didn't announce anything specific, because these tools are all built on data, massive amounts of data, and if you're doing things the right way, either you need to get consent or you need to build all that data yourself. As you can imagine, for something like an AI mocap tool, it takes quite a bit of time and money to generate all of the thousands of hours of mocap data that you need in order to make the tool work. For me, this showcases just how committed they are to doing AI the right way, with consent and without exposing you, the developer, to any legal liability. Since Unity is working on building an entire dataset that they themselves own, they can then build tools and know for certain there are no legal issues. As for what are the tools themselves, like I said, what I saw is under NDA, so I can't reveal any specifics on what I saw, but they've already publicly shown that talk in Unite where they showcase AI-driven posing, AI animation, and pose matching from an image. Another AI tool they've shown many times is called Kinematica, which is an AI-driven animation system. Now, they actually paused development on this tool until that animation is fully stable, which might happen sometime later this year, so perhaps Kinematica won't be back next year. Beyond that, you can look at the general state of AI and assume Unity is researching all of those areas, like for example Keijiro's tool where a chatbot can interact directly with Unity. Of course, using AI to generate all kinds of textures, this is something that already exists. The only thing stopping them from releasing something like this right now is simply the need for building their own dataset from scratch. Nvidia has already announced a text-to-3D tool. That one would definitely be extremely useful to game devs. There are already some tools on the asset store that use AI for terrain generation and placing objects. With regards to code, Microsoft recently announced GitHub Copilot X, which seems really impressive. It allows you to generate documentation, ask questions based on your code base, write code with voice, and so on. So you can probably assume Unity is researching all kinds of use cases related to AI, but at the same time, like I mentioned in the beginning, there's a huge difference between a proof of concept and a proper, usable, production-ready tool. So it remains to be seen how many of these possible use cases they can turn into proper tools. All in all, I can definitely understand the skepticism and negativity that people had in reaction to this extremely bare-bones teaser. I get that, but what I saw behind closed doors really puts my mind at ease that they are doing this the right way and actively trying to avoid all of the negative pitfalls of AI. Hopefully, in the coming months, as they publicly announce more and more on this topic, people will see how AI might help them make better games faster, which will then generate a more positive sentiment. If you want to learn more, you can sign up to their AI beta. I've signed up myself and I'm very much looking forward to seeing what the future brings. Alright, hope that's useful. Check out these videos to learn some more. Thanks to these awesome Patreon supporters for making these videos possible. Thank you for watching and I'll see you next time.